Hey, yo, welcome back to Absolute Intense Wrestling's The Card is Going to Change. My name is Ronald Two Legs, and as always, I am with Absolute Intense Wrestling owner John Thorne. It's Absolution Week, Thorne. What is up?
Anxious, nervous, a lot of things. I don't know what is up, to be honest with you. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know. I've been weirdly just, I don't know, just like, it's a lot of energy. It's like a lot of nervous energy. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure, to be honest with you. It's just been a lot going on because I feel like we're so busy and active behind the scenes because we're trying to work on so many shows coming up and lock in so many things coming up, further out into the year. And it's just like, oh, Absolution's also creeping up this week. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it seems like it's like a constant, it's been like a constant, just there's a lot going on. So, we just locked down and announced on Patreon, Jaylit. So we're working on that. We have Rager coming up. We're working on Return to Youngstown, Hell on Earth, December. Like, there's all kinds of irons in the fire all over the place. So it's been a lot.
Yeah, it seems like you've been hitting the chat with a lot of news regarding kind of the back half of the year. Like you said, some Youngstown stuff and all that, Rager stuff, and which Rager, don't sleep on that. If you're waiting to get a ticket, I wouldn't. Those tickets are going fast, so definitely grab your Rager ticket.
It's over. Obviously, the main objective this week is selling out Absolution. We got to sell that out. But Rager is about 50% sold out as well.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if you haven't gotten your ticket for Absolution, definitely hit the AXS website. Get those tickets. Definitely need to sell it out. Biggest show of the year. A lot has led up to this card. The card in general is a great card. I mean, it's a lot of interesting talents. Fly-ins. There's a lot of stuff like that brewing. So I mean, it's an exciting week. That's for sure. Do you want to regale some past Absolutions before we get into this Absolution, or do you just want to stay straight on it on the path?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you could start with some questions. Maybe we start with the questions. I don't know.
Okay, because I know you had just posted too. It was the 10-year anniversary of Absolution 10, or somebody posted was it 10 years anniversary? But I know,
yeah.
It was a big one.
July 10th was the 10-year anniversary of that show, which a lot of people really hold in high regard. So, and like there was just all kinds of, social media, like memories popping up and stuff like that. So, 10 years since that show, which that was pretty crazy, especially for the time, reaching that landmark of, 10 Absolutions. Obviously, the caliber of talent on that show was crazy. It was sold out in advance. Couldn't sell any more tickets. Just a story which Pedro didn't even know this, but we got an email from Ric Flair's agent around that time, who Ric Flair was coming in and out of town for the NBA Finals. This, Cavs must have been in the finals that year or something. Yeah. And Flair was coming to see LeBron or something, and was trying to get an appearance or a payday. Yeah. And we had to say we absolutely couldn't make any additional, we couldn't make any additional money. We couldn't sell any more tickets if we added them to it. So we had to not even entertain the negotiations.
Yeah, you're kind of in a position at that point, right?
But yeah, that was a crazy day. It was a really cool potential venue that just just never reached its venue. They didn't. They told us a lot of things that didn't come to fruition. You know what I mean? They didn't have alcohol for sale and things like that they told us that they would. I think they were going to turn it into a music venue, and it just never came to be. I don't know even if they had any other events really in there besides that Absolution, as far as having any sort of entertainment events in there. I think it's like an indoor rock climbing facility now.
I've never even been in there.
Yeah, I think they gutted it. It's right off of West 25th. So yeah, I don't know what's going on over there, but that's kind of a little bit of that history, I suppose.
I see two names on this that worked episode 10 that are working this Friday. I'm curious if you can guess who they are. Because technically there's three. There's a third, but so that one, and
Tim Donst is one.
Yep, Donst versus Nick Gage.
And
looks like it was. I don't know if this is in order, but
are you counting the Duke?
That was the third that I, because it looks like he was with a manager. He was with Kingston, but that's not who I'm counting. There's one who worked it. There's another who worked it.
It's got to be in. I would think it's going to be in that opening match.
The 8-man tag.
With the students, yeah. Am I right?
Can you recall who it is?
Is it Dom?
No.
No, this predates Dom. I don't know. Who is it?
Everybody's favorite wrestler. Kaplan.
Oh, yep.
Josh singing Kaplan in the 8-man tag.
Kaplan, that's right. I knew it would have had to have been somebody in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Carson's in there, but he's not. He's not working, so he's around still, obviously. But he's not working on Friday night that I know of.
Yeah, and then Vader comes out in that match. Big Van Vader.
Oh wow! It doesn't say that here on Cage Match.
Well, he doesn't wrestle in it. He just does a running.
Okay.
Thing.
Okay. Joey Vincent Martini, a name I'm seeing on here, back again. He's back. Quite the card, man. Ethan Page versus Eddie Kingston. What a match that would be.
Yeah, it's just it's kind of crazy. It's just knowing what we know now and comparing fees now to what the fees were then and all that stuff, and it's just like how some of those fees that are on that show that were extremely high for that time are just like you dream for somebody to give you that price today, sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's just a different, the inflation and the change of the industry in the last 10 years is really crazy.
Would the Bucks be the highest probably on this, or Samoa Joe? I'm guessing maybe was the highest one.
Samoa Joe was the highest on the show, yeah.
And then you say to yourself, you'd take it whatever he was, that fee. You're like, I'd take that today, probably, and in a heartbeat on some guys.
You have to remember, this is pre-AEW. The Bucks were just indie wrestlers.
Yeah,
at this time.
Right. But I figured they were at least kind of,
they were high. They were high end in indie wrestlers. But,
yeah.
They were not. They were not in the Samoa Joe range at that time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's. There's a lot of names on this list. That's for sure.
It's just. It's just a crazy moment in time.
The funny thing is, and this is going to make me look bad probably, but hopefully, I won't seem too bad. But there's only one name really on this list that I just had never heard prior to this. Maybe you can enlighten me on them a little bit. Tyler Thomas. Who's Tyler Thomas? I've never heard that name before.
I don't think anyone's going to hold that against you. He was just somebody that was coming in in like the car loads from Canada with Ethan Page.
Okay.
And he was pretty talented doing some scrambles and things like that. And
Gotcha.
I think he's just one of those wrestlers that just vanished into the ether one day, like so many of them do.
Yeah, that happens, and that's kind of what I was curious. I'm like, I pretty much know every name on here, and then I didn't want to look like a jerk, but I figured I would ask, to see what the story is. So, yeah, an interesting card, that's for sure, man. Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, too. Sometimes you look at these cards and you go, what the fuck was going on in this card? But it's just like, it's all, context and, time and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all, you just got to look at it from all those different kind of angles like that.
Sure. A question I do see here in the Discord of ours, if you'd like to join the Discord, join our Patreon. You can get a passcode to get into our Discord. You can ask questions, and we'll lay them out here on the podcast or anything you'd like to talk about. But somebody, Justin Summers had asked, what's the AIW status of Shaw Mason? And I know he's not on this card. I haven't seen him for a few shows, so, Summers is curious about that. I thought maybe you'd shed some light on that.
We aren't super sure. I think probably what sprung this question is what sprung the question. A similar conversation we all had internally was he did change, his social media over from Shaw Mason to his real name, and kind of went, which appears to be full civilian. He did kind of have a conversation with me a few weeks ago, just saying he just does not have the time to dedicate to wrestling right now. He's getting married. He's trying to figure out life. He's also super young, trying to get married, trying to buy a house, trying to do all of these things. And I think, he's, I don't know. You know what I mean? I think maybe there was, do you want to do this or do you want to do this? You know what I mean? And I think he's trying to, he has a lot of things he's trying to juggle. And he said, he didn't think that it would be fair to everyone to continue to take spots up on shows and for us to offer spots up on shows when he cannot dedicate 100% like others are willing to do. So he had kind of offered to take a step back. He didn't say he was quitting or retiring or anything. He said he wasn't prepared to make that kind of statement.
Right.
But he did say, until his wedding and all these things settle, he needed to kind of remove himself from the situation.
Yeah, I mean, which is understandable, respectable. Even, you can recognize, he's a sportsman, he's an athlete. He can recognize, not being able to give that full, commitment, and at least he was honorable enough to, to respect your guys' time.
I think when he had the match with Eric Taylor at the Roxy earlier in the year. And he had not been training as much as say like an Eric Taylor who and I think he kind of saw the difference when you are not locked in. You can't just, it's not like hopping on and off a bicycle. I think that was a big wake up call, because he was given a huge opportunity. And I think he felt maybe he was a step behind on some things, and I think that kind of made him do some soul searching, and he kind of stayed away for a little bit, and then finally reached out to me. I would say maybe 3-4 weeks ago.
Okay.
And then obviously today, which I'm sure is what Justin Summers probably saw, was him kind of changing over his social media profiles and, going kind of civilian mode for the time being, or maybe forever, who knows.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is at this point. But like I said, at least you can commend the guy for being upfront with everyone. I mean that's respectable in my opinion. It's a business where you got to take care of the guy you're working with, and if you're not giving it the full commitment.
Right. I mean, you gotta give him, you gotta give him the credit for at least reaching out and having a conversation.
Sure. Speaking back, I just saw the Devin said in the chat here as well. 10-year anniversary of Tim Donst coming back from having cancer. Man, wow. He's looking to say any chance we can get a behind the curtain with Tim Donst. He will be at Absolution, so maybe we can wrangle him and Pedro down and see if we can nail that down for the Patreon.
Yeah, I think if it all lines up, I think that would be good. Donst has obviously such a vast history, especially in AIW. Not so much in the last few years, but certainly had a long career in AIW, and is responsible for some really incredible moments. And that's one of those things that is just you don't plan it, it just whatever the universe locks it in. 10 years from him returning from beating cancer at Absolution, just by happenstance he's booked again to come back to Absolution on a whim. You know what I mean? And it's one of those stars aligning thing. It just is seems just like such a great story for those people who were around in those days and have that connection with Tim Donst.
Yeah.
And maybe there aren't maybe there are fans that don't know much about Tim Donst, and maybe there are fans that maybe aren't gonna be super invested in that. But I think the ones that are going to be super appreciative of that, and especially 10 years almost to the day of him beating cancer, returning to the ring. I think that's he's not wrestling as much as he used to, but I still think that's a pretty incredible story.
Oh yeah, what a worker too. He kind of manufactured that himself, hitting that promo at the end saying, "Duke, I want you in that boot." He knew what he's doing. Donst is a worker, man. He knows what's up.
Worked himself right into an Absolution match.
Fucking A, dude. For the boot, nonetheless. And fans been clamoring to see that boot defended too. But speaking on the Tim Donst thing too, real quick, is we have newer fans. We've been cultivating these new fans through the students and stuff like that. A newer fan base, newer following. But there are a handful. There is definitely a handful of fans out there. I do card shows and stuff here and there, and I see a guy every time I do a card show. He will come up to me and ask, especially before Donst had come back recently, he would always ask, "Where's Tim Donst been? When's he coming?" He would always, every single show I would see this guy, he would come up to me and make it a point to ask about Donst. And he's one of these older AIW guys, a Mount Carmel era kind of guy who came around. I used to always see at Mount Carmel him and a group of 2 or 3 other guys, and they are all big Donst guys, big Donst fans.
Well, hopefully
so they're out there for
Friday.
sure.
Hopefully they're coming Friday.
I would think so. I would think, back in the Cleveland proper area, Globe Iron, which if you didn't go to the show that we did there recently, an incredible building. The place is great air conditioning. I know it was mentioned about Absolution 10 and how hot it was in that building. It will not be hot in Globe Iron.
Another thing that building lied to us about. They said they were going to have air conditioning installed by the date of the event.
It did not happen.
They did not.
But yeah,
I'll never forget another kind of funny story about that, which I'm sure I said on the podcast at the time, or if we could, we did one. But I'll never forget because that picture I posted of the line that I just reposted. I took that photo, and my car was parked right there, and then I was getting something out of my car, and the one venue guy just walks up to me, and he's like, he's like one of these old kind of like, he's probably like, I don't know, mid-40s. Like you can tell he's like, a construction worker his whole life or something, like a really like kind of like rough fucking character.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What the fuck? he's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with all these fucking people? And I was like, well, you were supposed to sell them all beer.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me. I was like, you were supposed to sell them all beer. That was the point. I was like, I told you we were going to sell this building out.
Yeah. Left money on the table with that.
And he just screamed at me like he was going to punch me. And I was just like, dude, like, we held up our end of the bargain.
Yeah.
He was pissed.
Building people are just so weird. Imagine, speaking to the owner of the venue, and he's mad that there is a giant line around the building and around the corner. It's crazy to think about.
He was so pissed.
Oh man,
furious.
All the different venue owners. It's fun to think about. The different venues, if you look at some of these venues, Absolution One, Peabody's Down Under. I mean, talk about you going, let's go end of spectrum to end of spectrum, Peabody's Down Under to Globe Iron. You know what I mean? Holy crap. The difference in buildings for sure. Now, Peabody's the original during the heyday when it was first built. It's probably a nice building, but when Absolution One was held there, I'm fairly certain in 2006 it was a hellhole for sure.
No, Peabody, no, it wasn't bad. It wasn't all that bad.
It didn't get bad till 09, 2010, maybe something like that, Eric. Because I've
were out of there by then.
Okay, I have been to many.
I mean, 05 was like, I feel like 05 was like the height of like that CSU area Peabody's. You know what I mean? Like, not the Flats Peabody's.
Oh, okay, so that's what I was thinking. I guess maybe I'm just thinking my timeline's wrong. This is the one.
Wrong. This is the one that was over by
had
Rascal
Rockstar.
House Pizza.
Yeah,
yes,
and it had that Rockstar attached to it.
Yes, it was 3 venues in one building: the Pirates Cove, Peabody's, and the Rockstar upstairs.
Gotcha.
This one was fairly okay. You know what I mean? It was kind of like Odeon alike for people that were never at that Peabody's location.
Okay, yeah. So I take it back then for sure. Yeah, because that I'm thinking older one, I guess. You got a West Park Party Center in there.
Well, did you see who the big star was on that Absolution?
Abso One, you talking?
Yeah. Did you look at that, or are you just looking at venues?
I have the card here as far as the big star. Let's see. For the time or now, or I'm confused. I guess maybe
New Jack.
Is it on? I don't see it on here. It's not listed on here. Fontaine, Cutthroat.
It would be in that one.
Cutthroat Crew,
No.
Alpha Beta Duke, Virgin Slayer. No. Vincent Nothing Deviant, Fontaine. Oh, there he is. Oh, Fontaine, New Jack. Oh yeah, wow, New Jack. You're in this match.
Yeah.
Fontaine, New Jack, and Thrillbilly defeated Revolution 13, which is Christian
Revelation
Faith.
13, yeah.
Revelation 13, excuse me.
We had no interaction with. I had no interaction with New Jack.
Yeah, all day or in the match.
Oh, I had interaction with him at the day. Yeah. yeah. Well, Maven was supposed to be the first. Like, he was supposed to be the name, and Kamala was booked for Absolution One. And
okay.
Maven was like booked through some guy that we knew, and like called me and was like, I didn't accept this booking, was all mad about it, and like didn't come and canceled. So then New Jack was randomly at a Cleveland All Pro show just in the crowd, and somebody told us. So me and Biggins went up there, and we started talking to him because we were like, we got to try to book him. You know, so we can get somebody for this show, for this first Absolution show. And we're like, do you want to go get some food? And we went to this diner. It was called the Expressway Diner. Now it has been rebranded as the City Diner. It's on Memphis in Old Brooklyn. And it was myself, Biggins, New Jack, and the man now known as Corey Graves.
Wow.
And New Jack ordered the Fisherman's Platter. I'll never forget it, which was the most expensive menu item at the diner that we took him to.
Yeah.
And we worked out a deal. And he said he would be there. It was like, because it was like only in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And Biggins had to kind of babysit because he was living in Pittsburgh at the time.
Okay.
And Biggins had to like babysit him all day and take him to strip clubs all day long and keep him busy. And I guess at one point, Biggins was, he just looked at Biggins. He was like, "Fuck you and fuck your pocket," and just like ripped his shirt pocket.
What?
And then
like Jackass style, like ripping someone's shirt pocket off of their shirt.
Yeah. And then hugged him.
Fucking asshole.
And then hugged him. I don't know. And then they got to the venue, and whatever. We were gonna do like a full tag match, and then New Jack was gonna run in and like do spots after, like do his thing after.
Okay.
And so we called like a 10-minute match or whatever, and then we were getting ready to, so we didn't really talk to him all day, and we're getting ready to go to the entranceway, and New Jack is wearing like a Freddy Krueger glove with real knives on it.
With real knives, you said?
Yeah, like real knives. And he was just like, yeah, fuck, I forget. He said something like, if they're not fucking making noise, I'm coming, or something.
Yeah.
And we're like, what? And he's just like, I cut people for real before, I'll cut people for real again today. And like, it's just like, oh, okay.
While
like,
holding knives.
Me and Fontaine are probably 21 years old, 22 years old at the time. We're like, oh, cool. Like, this is cool. This is cool, like New Jack is just said he's going to kill us.
Threatening to murder us, yeah.
So, like, we have literally a 10-minute match. We're out there for 90 seconds, and you just hear that fucking gunshot go off from Natural Born Killers. And fucking New Jack is standing in the fucking entranceway.
Oh,
and me and Fontaine just started fighting out, and we just got the fuck out of there.
He didn't want to get cut, huh?
No, we just let it be. We just let it be. And,
that's
we stayed
so
away.
Funny. So who calls that? Who's running sound at that point? Who calls? If New Jack calls, hit my music, I'm going out.
Sure, I'm sure New Jack said, "Fucking hit my music." They ain't making enough noise or whatever. You know what I mean? And then he got on the mic, and Tim Donst style, he's like, he fucking knew what the next date was. He's like, "I'm coming back July 16th, and we're doing it 1-on-1."
Who, you and him?
No, like it was him and Christian Faith. Yeah, and then he went and took all the a bunch of AIW merch and put it in his bag, and then he just wore it around for he would randomly be seen wearing AIW merch for like over the next couple of years. Oh,
that's fantastic. That's worth the price of advertising right there for sure.
I spent too many. I've probably spent far too many hours of my lifetime with New Jack.
Yeah. You told me that before, because early on in my AIW career, I was like, "Come on, let's bring in New Jack." Like, we got it, and you're like, "Oh yeah, you want to bring in New Jack? You got to watch him all day. I'll bring him in. You're in charge of him all day." And I was like, "Maybe I don't want to do that." And you're like, "Yeah, you don't want to do that," and told me the stories of you doing it.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. I mean, in retrospect, it's like great. You would never experience anything like that again in wrestling, but it's
in those times. If I was that age, I probably would have volunteered.
Yeah, I mean, when you're 22, you know what I mean, it's a little scary,
right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Now I don't think I'd want to be responsible for New Jack at 40, my age at least.
Yeah, and then Kamala didn't come because he put the wrong pair of pants on and went to the airport and I guess didn't have his license and couldn't get on the plane. That's the story.
Wow. Licenses I've heard that one before. I think I'm remembering. So then
he just mailed us, which I still have somewhere. He just mailed us 25 autographed 8x10s as a sorry.
Could be worse, I guess, right? It could be no 8x10. But I think I recall hearing you guys tell that story on the pod, the pants.
Yeah, I'm sure we've told these. I'm sure these stories have been told before, with Biggins being a lot more animated about it.
Oh yeah. Well, go back if you're listening to this. If you're newer to the podcast, definitely go back. All the old pods are up. That was, I know Goldstein's always talk about it too. The podcast is one of the things that really got me into AIW. You know, coming to the shows obviously was great, but then listening to those podcasts of you and Biggins and stuff, you know, just great stories, really got me kind of hyped for some of these shows and stuff like that. So. Any other past absolutions you want to regale upon before we go any forward?
I mean, there's a ton. I mean, everyone has many memorable things that happened at it. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't, unless I'm like pride for something, you know what I mean? I just can't really, you know, I bring something up off the, you know what I mean, off the top of my head, you know, like Bryan Danielson and Johnny Gargano going 30 minutes draw at the West Park Party Center in front of like, you know, 400 people, you know, like,
yeah,
it's just, you think about moments in time like that, and like you think about really, like, you know, now that you're, you know, you're plus, you know, 15 something years from that, and then you just go like, holy fuck, like, you know, like, that's a moment in time. It doesn't do it justice to watch it on video. You know what I mean? This is like why you got to come to these shows live, because it's just like, I get, like, there's a guy that I'm still friends with on Facebook. He doesn't really come around to AIW anymore. He's an older guy, Mark Ryland. That was like the first date that he took his now wife on, and like every year they post their meet and greet pictures with Bryan Danielson.
Yeah.
And but you think about that and you go like, at that time, you know, for his level of like independent wrestling, he was a very big star to that niche thing.
Sure.
But this predates like mega WWE worldwide phenomenon star. You know what I mean? Like, you just never know. And also on that show, Seth Rollins, you know what I mean? Like, just just
Tyler Black
randomly somewhere in the mid card. Oh, also on that show, Ricochet. You know what I mean? Like, people forget that. Also on that show, or no, that's Absolution 4. John Moxley was on Absolution 4.
I'm looking at right now. Shima Zion versus Ricochet, Tyler Black, Chuck Taylor. Where's Moxley at?
No, Moxley's on Absolution 4. I messed that up. That was Absolution 4.
Okay.
Yeah, but you just never know. You know what I mean? You never know who these people are going to turn into, who they're going to become.
That's just 4 is the infamous Haley Hatred John Thorne dog collar match.
That's terrible.
It's not terrible. It's a great match.
One of the worst moments of my life.
Oh, jeez.
Most painful things you'll ever experience.
Yeah. You don't have fond memories of that one, huh?
No, not at all. I mean, not at all.
Yeah, the Switchblade Conspiracy, John Moxley and Sami Callihan, Flip and Lewis, Amasis and Ophidian, Frightmare and Klondike Kremlin. Wow, what a 4-way scramble there.
Yeah, that was supposed to be. Klondike Kremlin was probably a replacement for Hollow Wicked or somebody.
Flip and Lewis is Aeroform, right? Wasn't that their tag team name? Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much stuff that's happened. You know what I mean? Sabu versus Facade at Absolution 6.
Yeah, that was one I was going to bring up.
You know, that
was a crazy one.
Just all kinds of just stuff that's happened over the years. You know what I mean? Some shows, just like, you know, and this is going to sound like pretentious, and please don't take it that way, but it's just like, it's like WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Some of them are more memorable than others, but like, there's some great stuff that's happened at every Absolution, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I think that's just like the point I'm trying to make is like, not only at Absolution, but like just coming to AIW live, like, it's just, the track record, I think, speaks for itself, and the fact that like, you just never know who is going to become something or somebody. Like, the quality has always really been there, you know, like it really kind of hit me because like I'm always really a forward motion person. I try not to look back much unless we're, you know, on this podcast and I'm answering like a specific question or something. But like, you know, and you know, obviously there's been some downs for sure, but you know, when that picture shows up, right, and it's, you know, a line around the block for Absolution 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're still able to do that sometimes fairly consistently. I mean, that is a pretty good track record, you know? And I think, you know, that speaks to the, you know, the type of quality that we're trying to put out. We're not trying to like insult anybody, you know, or like put out like a low tier, low grade product. Like we're always trying to kind of push beyond what we've done before. And, you know, I put a lot of pressure on myself to do that. And I just hope that we can just keep it going for as long as possible. And, you know, the people keep supporting it. You know, there's, just so much like weirdness going on in independent wrestling right now, you know, with like, everybody's trying to like get these like relationships or whatever the fuck's going on. And it all seems kind of so like co-opted in a way, you know, it seems so like everybody's kind of on the, I don't know, I don't want to say on the take because I don't know if anybody's getting any money, but it just seems like everybody is like trying to maneuver into like positions. And it's just like, AIW just wants to be cool independent wrestling in Cleveland / Northeast Ohio, and we want to put on a really fucking cool, fun product for the people that want to come see it, and like that's it. You know what I mean? And then we all go to work. We all go to work on Monday. It's the same thing we tell all the students to do. Like you're gonna have to go to work on Monday. Like, you know, I'm not trying to parlay this into some fucking wrestling career or anything. We really are just trying to stay focused on, you know, making this a fucking cool thing, you know, with no outside influences or, you know, like, I don't know, like everybody's looking at Twitter and it's like it's all weird shit. I don't know. Like I just look at them, I'm just like, what is everybody doing right now?
I don't even have one. I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's just, I don't know. It's all strange, you know?
Yeah, I don't
like all the ID stuff and all that, and it just seems so like, I don't know, like it just seems so unorganic to do that. Like obviously, like it's great to have a trajectory to make it to a career in wrestling as a performer, but I think it takes, I don't know, it takes something out of it when it's just like being forced into the independence in a way. I don't know how to explain it. But there's something that feels unnatural about it all.
Sure.
And, you know, we're trying to just maintain what we've always done. You know what I mean? Like bring in a cool legend, bring in cool wrestlers, put on a great show, and get on to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you have any delusions of grandeur that, like, Hunter's going to give you a call and say, hey, brother, you know, we want to grab AIW from you or have you come work for, you know, I think I don't know
that, I mean, at that point, it's not AIW. It has to be something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you that we're just trying to put on a good product here in this area, and I think you've successfully done that and continue to do that. You know, I think it's apparent in the cards. You know what I mean? I was just gonna say before you started getting into that, kind of my first Absolution was Absolution 12. And we were just talking about, you know, pulling match here or there from it and just kind of in a moment in time. Tom Lawler versus Eddie Kingston, man. What a match that one was.
Yeah. There's been so much great wrestling that I think's been like, for example, like that match, right? Like if you pulled, you know, the most hardcore of hardcore AIW fans, I don't know that they're pulling that match, right? Like I don't know if that's hitting their list. incredible match, and that just is an example of the type of quality that has been produced at Absolution over the years, in my opinion. Because it was unbelievable. There's a ton of really great stuff on Absolution 12.
12, that's what I was going to say. 12 is a big one. Shayna Baszler, Mia Yim, Swoggle, Britt Baker, Dom and the Duke. I mean, there were some good matches on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's the last one at Mount Carmel. Maybe there's one more.
No, I think 12 was it, because 13 is it. It's showing on here. 13, okay. And then 14 was the Odeon.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much great stuff on the show over the years. That's why I just really, I don't know, I just get nervous that, like, it's not going to sell out on Friday. You know what I mean? Like, it's more expensive than we usually go across the board, venue, legend, the female talent coming off of NXT. Like, we took a gamble. We set up that angle in June, and there's a lot of chips that were pushed in to really try to make this sell out.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know. Like, you just I can't help but get nervous, because I know what the number is that we gotta do. So anything less than a sellout is not good. You know what I mean?
Calling all cars is what it sounds like. If you're hearing this and you haven't gotten your ticket, definitely get on AXS.com. Get your tickets now. I believe the premium seating front row, ringside front row, and the tables have all gone. I believe we're just in general admission at this point, correct?
Yeah. We got to move those general admissions.
Well, if you're hearing this, like I said, and you don't have your ticket yet, no reason to wait. Those tickets do go up $5 day of the show as well, so you might as well get them now. Save that $5. Ease John Thorne's mind here. Let him get some sleep at night, and let's sell this thing out. If you want to get into the card, I mean, I think this is an incredible card on paper.
I'm not going to lie. I have not been sleeping too well.
You need to go back to your chiropractor, maybe.
Well, it's just like, I'm telling you, like, I feel like we have a very just ambitious schedule, and then there's a whole other project that internally, we're working on, and, which would come with more shows. And, it's a lot of moving parts right now that we're trying to juggle. And, you want to make sure it all, it all works out. But, I do think that, there has been some success with getting out of that bigger venue at the Temple Live. You know what I mean? Like,
the going smaller, you mean?
Yeah, I like, I mean, I hope so. We'll see how next Friday goes, but I think I think people seem at least a little bit more engaged with what we're doing. But again, you just never know.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, it's a very strong card. Like you just alluded to with the women's match, you got the two former NXT talents coming in versus our AIW roster. You got Katie Arquette taking on Elena Black versus Jocelyn Navarro versus Priscilla Kelly. I mean, those are some four big names in the AIW territory, so that should be quite the barn burner from that one. You saw the fallout from the last show, with all four ladies.
They said let them fight, right? They said let them fight.
Crowd wanted it, yeah.
Hopefully, everybody that was in the Shrine is at the Globe. I think this is it has the potential to be very big.
Yeah, I would say
for everybody.
so.
For everybody, I think.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot on the line with this one for everybody. I think everybody stands to gain something in this one, which is, it makes it very exciting.
Absolutely. I would expect nothing less for an Absolution card. Going forward in this one, speaking of fallout from the last show, we saw Alec Price take on Mikey Montgomery, have words about it, that was the second match that they had each scored a victory, and they're going to do it again at Absolution. This time they're going to run it best 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah. I think they, both feel that they should be at the top of the show, top of the card. And I think they're coming, unloading both barrels in this one. 2 out of 3 falls, leaving it all out there. I don't know, arguably, from a just pure in-ring standpoint, what in the area has the potential to top what they're going to do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The first 2 matches were incredible. 2 out of 3 falls can go a lot of different ways. It could extend things. It could shorten things. Just because it's 2 out of 3 falls does not mean, they're going an hour. So, I think it's going to be very interesting. And it does, cause for a little bit more creativity on both their parts.
Yeah, to score the double pinfall, they're both going to have to pull out, all the stops here. And like you said, with these two, anything's possible. So this is one I'm really looking forward to. I think Mikey stands to gain a lot in this match, with the victory. But Prize also, stands to gain a lot. You talk about Prize being one of the best talents around on the indies right now. Taking Mikey 2 out of 3 falls would really solidify that and kind of force your hand to kind of put him in a higher position in the card, in the company, and vice versa for Mikey, the same kind of thing. So very, very interested to see what's going to happen with that one.
Absolutely.
Some more fallout. We talked about this earlier. Tim Donst, 10 years back, getting in the ring 10 years, free of cancer, coming back. Going to take on the Duke. Called the shot. Said he wants the Duke for the boot at Absolution. So we're going to see it.
I think the Duke has appeared on every single Absolution, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe he has said. I've heard that.
In some capacity.
I've heard that said in Duke W3 hallway once or twice.
Some capacity.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, that's for the boot, no less. For this one, I know fans always, clamoring to get the boot out there. I know he claims he defends it all over in all these countries and stuff that
he's in Phuket, Thailand, is from what I understand.
It's what I had read recently, actually. Yeah. San Diego to Phuket.
That's where he's been training for the last couple days, Phuket. Yeah, I don't know. You'd think a trip like that would relax a man like him, but he seems angrier than usual.
I think you know how to push
take
the buttons.
A joke.
You really get him going in there, man.
Can't take a joke.
That's that could not work. It could work out in Tim Don's favor. Duke could be a little angry, but I think Duke's more like he's like the Hulk, man. You won't like him when he's angry. I think it's bad for Tim Donst. It's gonna be a rough night for Tim on Friday. I think Duke's gonna take all these frustrations he has with you out on Tim.
Yeah, because he wanted it to be me, and I said, I'm not signing the contract.
I still think I'm keeping that music loaded just in case that car from Philadelphia doesn't make it. With Mr. Donst, you better bring that gear. Bring the gear this time. Don't leave it at home. Don't get blocked in at the Globe Iron. We don't want a round 2 of that. Bring the gear with you.
Not wrestling.
Moving forward in the card, we have Katie Arquette with Derek Dillinger taking on Dominic Guarini. These two have mixed it up in many different ways in the past in AIW. Plenty of storyline back there for these two to go in there and beat the hell out of each other. This should be a good one.
Explain to me why.
You want me to explain it why?
Yeah.
Derek versus Dom?
Yeah, you gave it a big intro.
I just think, you've seen them do battle plenty of times. I'm pretty sure they've had a singles competition. They've been in there in mixed tags. They've been in Cybernetico de Mayos. I also just think these are two guys that can go in there and throw haymakers. I don't think you need...
And the final of the J-Lit.
Final of the J-Lit. There you go. Another great one. I don't think you need any more real story to this one. I think these are two guys that can just go in there and beat the hell out of each other. That's all I really need. Two guys go in there and hitting hard. I love it.
I think Dom has not won a match all year in AIW, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
And I don't know if Derek's record is all that great either, to be honest.
Let's take a look, because I had all the absolutions pulled up. So let me see if I can just go to our regular event schedule. And let's walk it back and see what we can do here. Events, nope, back. Here we go. All right, so they cage matches. Wow, they list stuff. All right, that's not even happening. They got Rager up there, Absolution up there. All right, so Cash rules everything. Let's see here. Derek and Vincent defeated Dom and Justice in the last match. So Derek technically with the win over Dom in the very show, prior to this one. Let's see, Bang Your Head. That was in Youngstown. Derek defeating Dom again. Derek and Katie defeat Austin James, Dom Green, and Evil Uno. So, just in the last two shows alone, Derek and Dom got plenty of history. 20th anniversary show. Let's see here. Yeah, I would just say in those two alone, they got history. 20th anniversary. Derek was not there. Gauntlet. They mixed it up in the Gauntlet, I believe, too.
But I'm saying I don't think Dom won. I'm saying I don't think Dom has won a match.
Yeah. No,
period.
I don't see one. That's for sure. I'm not seeing a W. Let's see. Barely Lethal. Yeah, I'm not seeing a dub here. Austin James got him at Barely Lethal.
Tom Waller got him at the 20th.
Yep. Ice ISO, baby. Again, Derek and Eric versus Dom and Wes. Derek got the best of Dom in that one again. And then Concepts of a Plan, that was the first show, our first show of the year. You got... They were in that big... So, again, the big 8-man tag. You got Chuck, Derek, Eric, and the Duke defeating Dom, PME, and Big Sam. So, again, Derek getting the better of Dom in that one. So, there you go. Just in 2025 alone, they have seen each other in almost every match that we have put together. Now it's time to see them in a singles. Let's finish this thing once and for all, in my opinion. That's an incredible story, if you ask me. We just walked it right back.
Time for talk is over.
The time for talk is over, Thorne. No kidding. Yeah, absolutely. Another one, I think the time for talk is over. Talk about maybe one of the shortest lived over tag teams of all time. You got Beef Jerky Jitsu breaking apart. Last show, Tyson Riggs, turning his back on Kaplan. And now it's going to be Tyson.
Yeah, they made it 2 shows.
2 shows, man. And just, wow. Tyson Riggs taking on Kaplan in this one. This is a rematch from Kent's show that we did a long time ago, and I'm very excited to see the rematch. I think Tyson Riggs came a long way.
You think that's why Tyson Riggs turned on him? He's been waiting to sneak some revenge after that Kaplan ass whooping.
It very could be. You've seen, Tyson Riggs has been ascending the ranks, as we say, and he's definitely wised up. I could definitely see him,
You think he was feeling a little too confident?
Yeah, he had to be, because I don't know why I don't know why you turn on Kaplan, man. What a great guy. I don't know what he was thinking there.
He never forgot.
It's true. But yeah, definitely.
You still got to put your money on Kaplan, I think.
I don't think I would ever not put my money on Kaplan no matter what. I mean, I think I take Kaplan in every match ever, no matter what happens. Going forward, another match on the card I'm real jazzed for. Two guys that have been around AIW for a long time. I believe I even saw, I believe one of these guys was on Absolution One. You got Vincent Nothing taking on Matthew Justice.
Main evented Absolution One.
There you go. Yeah, Vincent Nothing main evented Absolution One. There you go. This is going to be an awesome one. Matthew Justice, everyone is aware of Matthew Justice matches. I think when Vincent Nothing came back, there was a short list of guys that I said, man, I would love to see.
Actually also main evented on opposite teams, Absolution 3 against each other.
Wow, okay.
A little history.
Absolution 3 Guerrilla Warfare?
Yes.
Interesting.
You want look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're in there. Faith in Nothing and Madman Pondo defeat Revelation 13. John Thorne, Redacted, and Matthew Justice.
Mr. 50s, dude.
Mr. 50, excuse me. That's not how they have him listed here, but yeah, what a main event there. No holds barred. Fans bring the weapons. My God. But yeah, here's a rematch in a way, sort of that one. What a match this one's gonna be, man. Vincent Nothing. Like I said, there's a handful of guys I wanted to see him against, and Justice is definitely up on that list. You just look at these two guys and you're like, man, this is main event, big hard hitting, no fuck around wrestling. Yeah,
in my opinion,
absolutely.
I'm very much looking forward to this one. There's a lot of history here. History that fans could never even comprehend, you know what I mean, between these two. Just local history, local lore, Vince being, the guy when Justice is the young boy breaking into the business. There's all sorts of just weird dynamics that these two are going to get in there and they're going to fucking work out as men here,
Yeah.
Probably, 20 years in the making or so.
Hell yeah.
I think you're going to see a lot of things just spill out here into the ring on July 18th between these two.
Hell yeah, dude.
Just a couple of men sorting some shit out.
I mean, it's just there's so many on this card alone. There's so many, like you said, main event. I mean, that could easily be a main event. Any of these title matches we got could main event. I mean, there's just so much stuff that could just easily be a main event. Looking forward into the title picture, we got a tag title match. We got PME taking on the Vision. This one has been brewing for quite a while.
This is the end of the road for PME here.
I mean, PME with Fonzie in their corner, as always, so you can never really count him out. Fonzie, a guy who just, he's a madman. He'll get up in the ring. He will jump off shit. He will take chair shots. The man is a madman. But then you got the Vision with Nipsey Nash on their side, and a guy who's proved that he's finds ways to get an advantage or get over on the other team. He's proved it a few times here now. Like I said, there's been a lot of bad blood between these two over the last handful of shows. And this is another one, though. This whole card is very much, the time for talk is done. It's very much a put up or shut up with all these matches.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, some bad blood's been boiling over here. PME, it's kind of, protect the block sort of thing, for them. Mm-hmm. Or is it time for the new blood to come and kind of push them out of the way?
Yeah.
Is their time up, or, you know what I mean? Or are they firmly, cementing their spot as a pillar of this company?
Yeah. Yeah, right, exactly. I mean that's they got a challenge too, because the Vision is a team that is hungry for those championships. They have been very vocal about it ever since they formed. Very vocal about that. So I mean, this is a big test for PME in my opinion. They've seen a lot in this company. They've done a lot in this company, but I think this moment and this this position that they're in is a tough one. So I think this is going to be a great match.
I agree.
Going forward in the championship title picture, we have an intense title match. We have the actual intense title holder, Wes Barkley, the champion, taking on the pseudo-intense title holder in Isaiah Broner. A lot has gone on between these two in the last handful of shows. Josh Prohibition taking now the side of Isaiah Broner and being kind of the speaking point of that group, and he has had a lot to say about Isaiah Broner.
Maybe too much to say. Maybe too much to say.
I agree with a lot of the things that man says. Isaiah Broner,
Not everything represents this company.
He does speak on his own behalf. That is very true. But yeah, I mean, if you've just been paying attention as of recently, you've been seeing Isaiah Broner carrying that title belt around. He is not the actual intense title holder. He's telling everyone, that he is the rightful one.
He's not the recognized champion. No, you can't just take the belt.
He kind of said, "What are you going to do about it?" type situation. He said, "This is mine now." He deboed it in the sense. Said, "This is mine now."
It's my bike, punk.
He deboed that belt for sure. So I mean, this one is just an incredible another one. I can't stress this enough. This is another one that's the time for talk is done. This is another absolutely put up or shut up match.
Unfortunately for Wes, I think he would maybe prefer a little bit more time for talking. And, I think he wants the belt back. I don't know that he wants. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
is he walking into the inevitable, you know what I mean, situation of not getting it back, right? Like, would he prefer a little bit more time to talk? You know what I mean? Like, it is, we've seen quite the, I don't know if you could classify it as an attitude change out of Isaiah Broner. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's a proper explanation for it.
Right. Yeah. I think his attitude has always been the same. It's,
I just think it's like he's just finally got someone telling him he's right. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Someone who is agreeing with what he's been saying this whole time.
He's found
validation.
He's found like his Don King to his Mike Tyson.
Absolutely.
And I think it's dangerous for Wes Barkley. I mean, people have overcome more. It's possible. Wes Barkley could shock the world here. Isaiah Broner has certainly lost before. He was absolute champion. He is not absolute champion currently. Mm-hmm. So he is not unbeatable.
Correct.
By any means. But, I don't know if this is, they've wrestled before, and, Wes has snuck one by, you know what I mean? They had one at the Roxy, several months ago, and I think maybe you could kind of classify that as, I believe it was at Concepts of a Plan. Maybe they had one, and Wes kind of used some questionable tactics to get that pin, if you recall.
That Wes and Justice at Concepts. Let's see, maybe it was Ice Ice Oh Baby. Let me check here for you.
No, they definitely wrestled at the Roxy. Could have been Barely Lethal. But
it was Barely Lethal. Yep. Wes Barkley defeats Isaiah Broner. Yep.
He got him by the skin of his teeth, and I think maybe that kind of flipped the switch in Broner. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's a lot going on here. For those people that aren't paying attention, there's been a lot. You know what I mean? There's been some breadcrumbs dropped. You know what I mean? And you could follow them along the way. Mm-hmm. But I think, that moment is probably what flipped the switch there in Isaiah Broner, and I don't know if Wes can do it again. But he did it. He did it that night. So
I would say,
what do you think?
It's certainly stacked against him because he's, like you said, he was able to do it that night. But then you look at it and it's
or is Wes going to have, or does Wes have some backup? Does Wes have a trick up his sleeve?
I would be curious because now you essentially Isaiah Broner has a bit of a trick up his sleeve and has a bit of a not advantage, but I mean you have to call it an advantage. Josh Prohibition has been in the wrestling business for a long time, and the man is a very, very smart individual. He knows a lot about this business. So now you got a guy like Josh Prohibition on Isaiah Broner's side telling him these things. So it's almost like when you got this great, these great play. Like, would Michael Jordan have been as great without Phil Jackson? I don't know, but I know Michael Jordan was really damn good with a guy as smart as Phil Jackson telling him these things. So now, you know what I mean? Like you said, with Mike Tyson and Don King,
he didn't win any rings with the Wizards.
There you go. Exactly. So it's like, Broner was a scary man before, and now he's got a guy who is as smart as Prohibition is and who fully believes everything that he says about Broner. So to me, that is just such a scary combination for Wes. But he's done it before, so it's not an impossible task. I know he's going to need everyone out there. So if you're, a Barkley brigade, get your tickets and get out there because he's going to need your support. Going forward in the card, our last title match, our main event of the evening, will be for the Absolute title. Eric Taylor, the champion, taking on Chuck Stone, former Absolute title holder. This one, I mean, we've talked a lot about storylines. Yeah, we've talked a lot about storylines and things from the past. I mean, these two are real-life best friends. They've been friends for 17 years or something, he said online. They used to play high school football together. I mean, these guys had the idea to come to the academy together. I mean, they did all these things together as best friends. And then, essentially, Eric turning on Chuck after a lot of deals made and this and that through Cash is King and all that, and Chuck the affiliate. I mean, there is a long, long story between these two.
Yeah, and it's all coming to a head. Obviously, Chuck Stone at some point, he kind of, leapfrogged Eric Taylor along the way and became absolute champion. And before he did, and I think that changed some the dynamic of the friendship there. And anybody that was at that show, which was so named, the concepts of a plan, a plan was hatched at the end of the night there. And Eric Taylor walked out as absolute champion, and Chuck Stone was not seen for quite some time. So there's no lack of bad blood here between these two guys at all, and that's years and years of friendship and a bond that Eric Taylor walked away from, for ego and to be the top guy. And the strange thing is Eric Taylor is starting to gain some traction in the crowd as far as support for his behavior. I don't know if you've noticed that a little bit.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think you said that. In another show, he was wrestling someone. And I think we had fully intended to hear chants for the other wrestler, and I mean Eric was getting
it was Shaw Mason.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't know how much you wanted to pull back on that one, but yeah, I mean there was a point where we had fully expected, Eric to be getting booed, and he was not getting booed. He was very, very cheered for what he was doing. So I completely agree with you in that sentiment for sure. I definitely think he's had this attitude this entire time that he is, this upper echelon, his future is too bright, as he says, and he has been proving it. I think we are in that future. I think we are in the brightness of that future currently, and I think he's showing everyone he is as good as he says he is.
Yeah, I agree. And there was a moment at the Gauntlet, I believe, or no, it was at Cash Rules Everything Around Me, where it looked like maybe Eric Taylor was thinking about turning on the Duke there for a second, and I just went, there's no way. There's not 1 ounce of. There's never been like a sentiment of an ounce of good in this guy ever. You know what I mean? Like, he has never even hinted at that. Like, I don't know what the relationship is between him and Chuck Stone, but like, you know what I mean? Like, from an outsider looking in, like, we've never seen any sort of goodness out of Eric Taylor. You know what I mean?
No
so I think I think Chuck Taylor, I think Chuck Stone has like a skewed perspective of this whole thing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And it's hard. I think he's got to get himself in the right mental place, or else he's already lost this match on Friday before he even walks through the door.
Again, another one that is time for talk is enough. We are going to lay it all out.
Well, to be honest, I don't know, because I'm interested, because we haven't heard a lot of Chuck Stone talk.
It's true,
and I'm interested to see, because, like I said, is Eric Taylor in his head already? Like, again, this idea that he thought that he would turn on the Duke and all this other stuff, like, he may have lost this mental game before he's walking into a main event of Absolution. So I would be interested to see, is he locked in, or is he still chasing the idea of his friendship,
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of different kind of roads this one can go, and I think, honestly, unfortunately, advantage always kind of goes to Eric Taylor.
Yeah. Yeah, you think Chuck is going in this more almost to like win his friend back, or is he going in this to win the belt? You know what I mean? And I think in your
right. Do you want to be the champion, or do you want your friend back? Like, what are you fighting for? Sort of thing.
And I don't think that ship is ever sailing with Eric again. You know what I mean? So I think I agree with you. If he's going to get his friend back, I think he's already lost. But I don't know. I think Chuck is a smart guy. Maybe he's playing into that. Maybe he's trying to, make Eric think that he's not all locked, all there and completely locked in. Because when we have seen Chuck locked in, I mean, Chuck Stone is a former absolute champion. The man is a force to be reckoned with. Chuck fucks, as they say. So, I mean, this man, when he is locked in and firing on all cylinders, he can go. We've talked about how incredible it is, Isaiah Broner is such a force to be reckoned with. Chuck Stone was the man that took Isaiah Broner down. He took the belt from him. So, I mean, if you're talking about a Chuck who's locked in like he was when he won that absolute strap, he could do it again.
Yeah, and I think, when he is locked in, and that's my worry, though, is, did this betrayal from Duke and Eric Taylor, did it cause him to lose his edge?
Yeah.
Because when he was locked in and he was focused and he was absolute champion and he was surrounded by Cash as king, he was putting on some of the best performances that have happened in AIW. He was a top-tier performer. He had several great matches, and especially at some of the lesser probably viewed shows. Him and Sam Holloway had like a crazy match at like the Hartville Flea Market, and they did it again at the brewery outside of Columbus. Chuck was having some incredible performances. You just have to worry though, did that cause him to lose that edge? Because like when you lose that intensity and that edge, it's hard to go back and find it. And again, a lot's changed. He's a father now. You know what I mean? Like that could change. That could just change a man in a certain way. You got to wonder, does he have that kind of killer instinct that he had a year ago?
Yeah, we're going to find out this Friday, that's for sure. If you don't have your tickets, grab them now, AXS.com, the AXS app. We have general admission tickets available. They will be $5 more day of show, so you might as well grab them now. Don't wait until day of. We love a big walk-up, of course, but save yourself that $5. I believe the box office is open on Thursdays, correct?
It is open on Wednesdays and Thursdays, or like anytime they have a concert. I think you could just go down there and you can buy, you could buy a ticket for anything going on at the Globe Iron. I think you could I think you could also go to like the Agora and buy anything going on at the Globe Iron or Jacob's Pavilion. Like it's all under that AEG umbrella. So I think, all the box offices kind of like intertwined to where you can get those reduced fees sort of thing going on if you go like directly to the box office. And speaking of like Absolution, and we've been talking about like legends of the game and everything. I don't know if anybody saw on the AIW Facebook, but Mike Tolar left a comment that I know people have been wondering what happened to Mike Tolar. You were talking about that Dom versus Duke match a little bit ago. Which I believe was supposed to be Dom versus Mike Tolar. And Mike Tolar just mysteriously disappeared and has not been seen again since that day.
Wow.
Just randomly commented that he purchased a ticket and he'll be in the crowd next Friday night at Absolution. So for anybody that remembers those days, have been coming since around then, remembers Mike Tolar, look out for him in the crowd this Friday.
Wow.
The legendary Mike Tolar is going to be in the house. So I'm sure he will certainly not be embarrassed if people are coming up to him asking to take photos with the legendary Mike Tolar if you spot him in the crowd this Friday at Absolution.
I'm looking at this list. I'm trying to find him here on some of these earlier Absolutions. Was he on the Absolution cards? Because I only got to see him once or twice right when I first started coming to AIW, so I don't know much Tolar lore.
Take a look at that Absolution 3 card. I'm pretty sure he's on that.
Episode 3, okay, Guerrilla Warfare. Let's check that one. I mean, that's the thing, though, too, that, I know we're kind of wrapping it up here, but it's like you can click on any of these cards, and there is like at least one match on every Absolution card that you just read and you're like, oh, holy shit, like, okay, like, wow, that was probably pretty good. Here we go. Absolution 3, Johnny Gargano versus Tyler Black, 30-minute Iron Man match. Like, let's go, dude. Like, you could click on any. Here we go. Mike Tolar and Rob Conway defeat Chris Cronus and Marion Fontaine. But I mean, you could do that to any
legend. WWE legend Rob Conway. One time, Tom Lawler texted me. He goes, "There's no way Rob Conway's ever been in AEW before." And I said, "Yeah, he has." I go because which was funny enough because Tom Lawler, for literally 10 straight years, texts me all the time, "Where's Mike Tolar?" And I said, funny enough, Rob Conway teamed with Mike Tolar in an AEW ring.
Wow.
And his mind was blown. And then I actually sent him a screenshot of Mike Tolar's comment that he had purchased tickets. And then Mike Tolar actually texted me as well, like his confirmation that he purchased tickets for Friday, and I sent it to Tom Lawler, and he goes, "Are you fucking kidding me? I've been asking for this guy for 10 years."
Yeah,
he's like, and he's showing up when I'm hurt and I'm not going to be there. He's
not gonna be there.
He's pissed. He's been asking for Tolar forever.
Wow.
And he is pissed. That I mean, there's some crazy names on that Absolution 3 card, but yeah, that Gargano versus Tyler Black Iron Man match for sure.
Yeah, there is for sure.
Mr. 50s is on there.
Yeah, there he is. Sterling James Keenan, as you said. Corey Graves, obviously. But yeah, I mean, there's so many. Madman Pondo, that's another one, too. That guy's been around forever, too, and it's like just so funny to think about. Like, and we just had him when we had him back at the hardcore, the Fonzie tournament that time. Like, but yeah, I mean, you could literally click on any one of these, 17 things, cage match entries, and there's just fucking gold on all of them. At least one match of just...
You're going to extend this pod a little bit longer than we planned, huh? You're going to click around a little bit? You're going to pick my brain a little longer?
I feel like I got a second wind. I'm like, let's get going here. I mean, wait, you know what? Well, I got nothing to do. What do you got? You got anything going on?
No, not really.
Fair enough.
I got half a water left, so...
Here's one. I was just saying, like, you can literally click on any of them. Here we go. Absolution 15, talking about Tim Donst coming back out of nowhere. Here he was, Absolution 15. Remember, he came out of nowhere for that one. Him versus Kaplan in a singles match at Absolution. I mean, what a great match that was. You know what I mean? Like,
that was that was like a bucket list for Kaplan, because up until that point, he, I believe, had never had a singles match at Absolution.
Wow.
So that was like a really big moment for him to get a singles match at Absolution.
Yeah. I mean, there's just on every one. Here, it's same show here. Absolution 15, talking about Chuck and kind of his rise through AIW. This Absolution 15 was a big one for him. It was when he was tagging with Artie Mack, good old Arthur MacArthur, bulking season when they defeated PME. Talking about PME, obviously, you've said they've seen a lot in AIW. Absolution 15, losing the title, the bulking season, that kind of started Chuck, on his kind of rise, letting the people know that Chuck is, a force to be reckoned with in this company. I definitely think that was a pivotal moment for sure.
Man, Artie Mack, R.I.P.
Yeah.
He's still alive, but the wrestling career is not for now. But I have plenty of good ideas to bring back the vessel that was portraying Artie McCarty. I got a lot of good ideas for that man.
Here's another one. Absolution. I just clicked on 7, lucky number 7. I just figured you open the show and lose in a no-rope barbed wire match. Wow. Kingston on that one, Danny Vega, Mr. 50s, Ethan Page, Facade, Eric Cannon. What a match, 6-way?
We didn't even advertise. The thing that is interesting about that is it was not advertised. We just had the crowd walk in, and there was the ring was set up, no ropes, barbed wire.
Oh, that's so sick.
Like it was a surprise for the crowd.
Yeah, that's sick. Bare knuckle brawl fight. Fontaine versus Colin Delaney. Like, that's fucking sick. Like, this is a sick card, dude. Duke Jock Sampson. That's the legendary Duke Jock Sampson bull rope match, correct?
Yeah, that's the one. Absolutely.
Wow. ACH versus Adam Cole. Jeez, man. I mean, this is... Man, the Briscoes are on this one. Briscoes versus Irish Airborne. Dave Chris and Jay Chris. Wow, man. Then the main is
that was the only time that we ever booked the Briscoes, and they spent the entire day at the Cleveland Zoo.
No kidding.
We didn't know if they were showing up. Like, they weren't answering any text messages.
Yeah.
Like, doors were open. Like, we're like, where the fuck are these guys? And they just somehow walked in through a door that had never been opened before. Like, at that venue, they like ripped it open. It was like chained shut. We don't know how they got it open, and they just walked in, and they're just like, we're here.
Oh man, that's great.
It was like the doors have been open for like 30 minutes. They like walked in with no shirts on. It was awesome.
Wow. Yeah, but I mean, look at this card.
Speaking of which, though, did you watch that documentary about the Briscoes that came out?
I didn't get a chance yet, and then you told me it was sad. Like if I'm watching something sad, I gotta be in a certain mindset. Like I don't know.
I mean, man, I did not. I mean, I had a feeling it was going to be sad, but like, man, I did not anticipate I was just going to be crying alone by myself on a Thursday on my couch. You know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of sad. You know?
Right.
Like,
so I have not had that kind of time chunked out yet. I can't have my wife walk in and see me crying over some shit.
Watch it with your wife. She'll probably cry too. It's like, because it's like a big, like, it's really not like it's really not like a wrestling documentary. It's more like a family, like perseverance documentary.
Okay.
It's like, I mean, it's really like an incredible story. And like, it just, you know, like it just makes you think like, like this guy, you know, he said something stupid, like he said some stupid things and like, he never got the like, you know, level of success maybe he deserved. And then this terrible accident happens to him. And like, you just see like the just like level of just like family support and like just it's really like a like incredible just like family like unit that they have. It's just like you have to watch it. It just will make you so incredibly sad. I mean it's like a happy story and like a sad story all mixed into one because the family is like continuing to move forward, but man, but I tried to book the Briscoe brothers like so many other times. Only got them that one time though, at Absolution 7. Thankful to have done it. They filmed a bunch of little promos and stuff that I'm pretty sure are on the AIW YouTube. We got a couple, maybe 2-3 just like Briscoe brothers promos as well out of them. I know one, Jay Briscoe was like rapping in one of them. I remember that distinctly. I filmed them all.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, just that was a really good show. But yeah, thankful to have, you know, worked with the Briscoe brothers at least one time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, this card is, and then you, like I said, the main event, you got a 4-way elimination. Tim Donst, speaking of Tim Donst, Eric Ryan, Gargano, and Shima Zion. Like, what a main, dude. Like, I don't even know how we should do, this would take a while, but we should do like a tournament breakdown of all the absolutions to determine which one was like the sickest one. Because like I said, I'm just clicking around on these and there's just so many that are just like, they're all just like, you can find something that.
I mean, it's too hard. I mean, it's all subjective. You know what I mean? And it's too hard to tell. But like, you know, it would be nice to get a round table. Like Duke has been there for all of them.
Right.
Pedro was there for a lot of them. You know, Alberti was a fan for a lot of them. There's a lot of people that have, you know, been there for a lot of them that could certainly give different perspectives. You know, and that maybe that's like your next little project you do with the GoPro where you know, get some people to give, you know, a couple, you know, things here and there. Absolution stories. But yeah, the Absolution 7 was very good. When we stopped recording, I'm gonna go find that. There's Ethan Page made a trailer for it. To fucking, oh god, I can't remember the song, but like, it's in my head right now, and like, I hope it's still on YouTube, but I'm gonna try to find it and send it to you because the trailer was fucking sick. Ethan Page edited it.
My question is too, this one, what is, because this is the only one that's listed on here, so I don't know if you did this every year, but in between 5 and 6, there is one called Road to Absolution. What was that about? Was that just a show name that and it just happened to be okay?
There was just we got like a bar bought a show situation like right before, like, you know, we had like the schedule on a bar bought a show
right
before Absolution, so we just kind of named the show Road to Absolution.
Okay.
But there wasn't a lot of, there was some things mixed in, obviously, for that, but it was like a really kind of lower end budget show. I think. Now I'm going to test my memory here.
Okay.
I think the main event was Bobby Beverly versus Johnny Gargano on that.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, Gargano defeated Bobby Beverly in 11 minutes 28 seconds. That's impressive, man. For as many, matches
it happened at Around the Corner in Lakewood.
That's so funny. This says it was in St. Gregory's Byzantine Hall is what it has listed here.
That's where Absolution was, but the road to Absolution was at Around the Corner in Lakewood.
Okay, they have it listed wrong, but it's funny though. What I was just going to say, and you talked about the Duke and being on every Absolution. He's even on Road to Absolution. He wrestles on this one. He defeats Luis Diamante, and then he's also with Corey Winters. It looks here, Justin Summers' favorite tag, Ben Fruth and Corey Winters with the Duke. It looks like first the Latin Crime Syndicate. Excuse me.
The Duke and the other platoon were a team?
That's what it looks right here. 6-man tag match. Ben Fruth, Corey Winters, and the Duke defeat the Latin Crime Syndicate, Joey Diamante, Kay Fernandez, and Luis Diamante. 7 minutes, 15 seconds.
That's a strange unit.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just so funny, like how much you can remember. So let's see. Let's just pull one up and see if you can tell me the main of it. Let's go 8. Absolution 8. Main event, Absolution 8.
What is the venue?
The venue is, it has it listed as Turner's here.
Turner's Hall.
Yeah, June 30th.
Absolution 8. It is probably, is Eric Ryan in it?
No. That's there's a, so there's two.
Is it Eric Ryan versus Colin Delaney and then Ethan Page come at the end?
Yeah, so there was listed twice, so I was looking at the bottom one. Yeah, Colin Delaney with Silesia Sparks defeats Eric Ryan with the Duke. But then below it,
so
in another entrance.
I'm right.
Yeah, you were right. You were right. I just didn't see it above it. I didn't realize it was double.
Ethan Page won the J-Lit and had a cash in and cashed in.
Okay, so I see now. Yeah, I just looked at the very bottom one that said title match. I didn't realize the one above it said title match as well until after you said Eric Ryan, because I looked up and I go, oh no, he's in that match, and then it said title. I went, oh shit, wait, there's 2 entries. That's what I was going to ask. Yeah, so it's a cash in, huh? 8 was a cash in. Wow.
Yeah, so Colin Delaney is the champion for minutes. It's a storyline where Ethan Page was with Silesia Sparks.
Okay.
When he first enters AIW, they break up. They have this very epic match in the J-Lit, Silesia versus Ethan Page. Silesia is turned on him. Silesia starts kind of going with Colin Delaney. Colin Delaney kind of does this whole like sobriety redemption thing, wins the gauntlet, goes on to main event Absolution. Silesia Sparks is with him, beats Eric Ryan. Ethan Page comes out, cashes in his J-Lit title shot. Silesia Sparks turns on Colin Delaney. Turns out it was a big ruse the whole time, and Silesia Sparks and Ethan Page were in on it together this entire time. And they reunite to close the show, and Ethan Page cuts a promo about how essentially Gabe Sapolsky never believed in him and all these people never believed in him, and here he is standing a champion of an major independent company in North America. And it was I think it was our first big at the time pay-per-view.
Okay.
You had to pay to order it. I'm pretty sure. So it was like a pay-per-view situation.
Wow. Okay, and that's all through. That was through Smart Mark when you guys had them. They went streamed it in a sense, very early streaming sense, obviously by pay-per-view, or was it through High Spots or what? How did you even get it?
Smart Mark produced it, but there was, I don't know if they were distributing it, there might have been like something that predated them distributing it. Like there was like this thing called Hybrid Ent TV. There was all these kind of startup, like, platform distro things before SmartMark started distributing. Like SmartMark always produced and distributed like video and like DVD and stuff like that. But before they were actually doing like the live content, there was like, other platforms. So I think they produced it, but it like, the signal went out somewhere else.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Here's another one though. Talking about, like I just said, you can just scroll to stuff, any one of these. Here's Bunkhouse Brawl. Tracy Smothers in a Bunkhouse Brawl, dude. It's Hot Young Briley is in that, who Ryan Nemeth, current TNA Tag Champion, is in it. Gary J's in that. Submission Squad, I believe, is in that. Yep.
Am I right?
Evan Holistico, Gary J, Submission Squad with Briley Pierce defeats Old School Express, Jock Sampson, and Marion Fontaine, which I would love to see that tag team, man. Old School Express, I did not know that was a thing. Jock and Marion Fontaine with Tracy Smothers, holy shit.
It was kind of short-lived. It was kind of like a thing that was thrown together. There was like another guy, Bill Carr, was around a little bit, who's now in the Righteous. He was kind of teaming, like we were trying to do something with him maybe. And
was he doing a cop gimmick for a while too? Am I thinking the same guy?
I think so.
Okay.
He was doing all kinds of stuff, and I think Biggins was trying to maybe put him with Jock, and he maybe did one or two shows, and then I don't know what happened there, and then so the Fontaine and Jock thing I don't think was very long lived.
Okay.
But another thing that it's funny, you just remember strange things. Why I remember that this was a pay-per-view is Tracy Smothers gave like a big locker room talk to everybody beforehand, like it was a real pay-per-view, like on real cable.
Hell yeah.
And he was like, hey guys, we're on pay-per-view tonight, so you better fucking lay that fucking shit in. Like everybody's fucking smart marks are gonna be watching this shit, so don't be fucking fucking off out there. This is pay-per-view. You better fucking lay it in and make it fucking look good.
Yes, dude. Like
he gave an awesome fucking pre-show fucking locker room speech about fucking laying it in because we're on pay-per-view.
Do you feel like that's something that like we don't really see? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me and the times are different now from when I've been around. But I mean, like, you just don't see guys do stuff like that a lot. Or maybe I'm just not around if they are doing it in the back. Maybe I'm doing shit in the front. I don't know, whatever. But like, I don't know. Like, just don't see guys like Tracy around anymore, man. Like, they just don't make dudes like that no more. You know what I mean? Like that kind of guy.
No, they don't. Like they don't, and like it's just weird because like wrestling has evolved to this like performance art to where it is like just so much more advanced. But then like it sounds so like old school and like dumb. But like if you did just apply a couple of the things that like those old school guys talk about, like, it would all come together so much better. You know what I mean? And like, it's just, there's some middle ground that needs to be found somewhere along the way. Like Paul London and I talk about it a little bit here and there. But you just, I don't know. There's just not a lot of guys, honestly, like that around that, or. Like it's like J-Lit season where we're looking to see if there's anybody available, and there's really not, like, in as far as like a working legend or something, and it's just like those guys don't exist anymore. They're like dead, or they have a job somewhere, or they don't wrestle anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I just thinking of that, like, you know what I mean, like, in that, like, because I think I've heard you tell that story about Tracy and like saying that on the iPay-per-view. Maybe it was even on the pod. I don't know where I'm, hurting it, but I feel like I remember that. But yeah, just you think about guys like Tracy, man. It's just like it just doesn't exist.
He's just a guy that is just like, fuck, man. Like, you just miss him. You think about like, that window now of like Tracy missing the explosion of Wrestle Rager and like all of that shit, to where it would have been man, like the
He
memories.
fucking love that.
The memories that just would have come out of that. You know, I was just randomly thinking about him today. You know, I posted a picture of Tracy and Biggins on my Twitter, you know, and I don't think it was from an Absolution, but it was like right after, it was from a Double Dare tag tournament, and Tracy's wearing all this fucking Chicago Cubs shit because it was right after the Cubs beat the Indians in the World Series, and Biggins ordered Tracy all this fucking Chicago Cubs shit to come out in to try to get heat at Mount Carmel. Like, it was like all this fucking I'm not afraid of no goat, and fucking, you know how the Cubs, like, they had that fly the W flag. And
I remember this because that was my first AIW show. And I remember seeing that and being like, oh, wow, like, this is a good fucking time. Yeah, like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I distinctly remember that, of course.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I just think about, you know, all of the fun that we would be having if Tracy Smothers was still with us, you know, with, you know, just, you know, he was, you know, AIW's always kind of been a tumultuous, like, you know, razor thin margin, are we going to make it time? And, you know, through some of these like breweries and, you know, obviously the Rager shows, like, we have found some things that are just fun, you know, and like Tracy was always fun, right? No matter what. That's why he found his way to come back all the time. But just like now thinking of like putting him in the environment where like there was not hardly any stress, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To where like everybody would have just been enjoying the Tracy Smothers experience. I think about that a lot.
Yeah. Going forward too, I clicked on another one. I mean, it just, and the thing that's funny about with these Absolution cards is up and down the card, you can find someone on these cards who would go on to be basically on TV. Like, you can go, I mean, up until, I mean, last year's card, everyone, but I clicked on Absolution 13, the opening match, Wheeler Yuta, a guy who's on TV, you know, through AEW all the time. And then you look down the main event of that one. What a match, dude. Tracy Hot Sauce Williams versus Nick Gage in an absolute title match. Like,
I got one for you to click on. Click on the opening match of Absolution 9.
9? Yeah, right there. So I was looking at this one, and because we talked about 10, so I was looking at 9 and 11 after, and I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that he had came in for 9 too. He was around for that much. But yeah, Steen versus Chris Sabin in the opening match of Absolution 9. Like, let's go. And then it's 2 matches later, Gargano versus All Ego. Like, there's just so many matches that are just like, dude, like, this would be such a banger, dude. J Pro, Matt Cross on this one, like, man.
At that point, it was pretty much like known that he was probably going to WWE.
Okay,
but we like filmed stuff, like an angle, and like Steen filmed promos, which I'm sure that, like, I wonder if they're on YouTube somewhere. But he filmed promos with the Jollyville Fuckets as if he was going to do a 6-man tag with the Jollyville Fuckets at like the August date. But like, you know, if like the WWE medicals or something came back bad and he couldn't do it, he was just going to honor the dates.
Okay.
But like, it was just like, he filmed it under the, you know, and we were under the agreement that like he's also potentially going to the WWE and nobody knows really, you know. So like, it was just one of those things to where like we filmed stuff and we put it out, and it was also kind of put out as like some misdirection stuff. Like, not saying that anybody's fucking following AIW for any fucking news or anything, you know what I mean? But I distinctly remember that about that show.
man, I mean, there's just so many. I could go on for so long with some of these, dude. Which I just clicked on the one Commander. We had Commander on a fucking Absolution.
Commander was booked the day before. This is another thing I kind of, I'm gonna get a little gripey and mad about the fans. They don't understand. Like, sometimes I go, I don't know if this show's got enough. I literally booked Commander, like on 2 days' notice, and spent like $1,700 on a flight to get him there on time.
Oh, it's so
because I was
sick,
like,
too.
I was just like, I don't know. I think this show needs a fucking little bit more pizzazz, and I was like, I think this guy's gonna be something.
Yeah.
And Gringo and I got to talking, and like we worked it all out. And he like translated the deal, and like we got him there, and like, but it was like literally like a day and a half, maybe 2 days notice. Because, like, Commander wasn't even advertised.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that was like the day before, I think.
I don't think that Scramble was advertised. I don't think Gringo was advertised. I think it was all mystery people in the Scramble.
Yeah, and it's Chase Oliver, Gringo Loco, Commander, Matt Cross, Riley Rose, and TKD, formerly TKD, now Tommy Rain. I mean, I don't remember. We definitely did not, advertise Commander. That's for sure. Because I remember people coming in, and I want to say it was like Michael Porter or somebody like that. We were like, oh, there's gonna be a guy that you're gonna know of that, that's in this match. Wait till you see who it is.
Yeah, because he had just started like going viral for those rope walk things.
Yes, right, exactly. And that was Tadmore, too. So, I mean, speaking of, too, though, I mean, we have had, we had two in Akron. The last Absolution, obviously, Absolution 17 was in Cleveland. But we had two away in Akron, so we're back in Cleveland proper this time. Because last year was in, that was at Temple. So we were Cleveland proper for the last one, too. Okay. I take that back. But, yeah, back
Double
in
J last year. Double J last year.
Yeah, I mean, so that was what I was going to say. Even as of last year, I mean, you look at last year's friggin' thing. Danhausen, Double J, fucking Satnam Singh, dude. Karen Jarrett. Like, that
Zagura.
Dude, Zagura, the Z-Man, dude. That was so sick, dude. Oh, that was such a sick, like, dude. And, you know what I was thinking about, too? Those fucking lights that Gringo brought last year was that 2 years ago? No, that was last year.
That was last year.
Yeah,
yeah, because he wasn't booked. He just brought the lights.
Yeah, because he's not on the card here. No, he just worked. That was so sick. Oh man, well, what do you think here? I could probably talk forever if I had to about Absolution. This is one of my favorite shows of the year. We're going. I gotta get new dress clothes. We got fucking dress code again as always.
I mean, it's like unofficial, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
That's really among all of you guys, but yeah, I just really hope that we could sell this show out. Like I said, at the top of the show, I just have this nervous energy about it. We're just we got to do it. You know what I mean? I just feel like we always try to put our best foot forward on every show, especially this show. And, sometimes, it works and sometimes it doesn't. You know what I mean? There's been some down for sure, obviously, well documented and discussed in this podcast. And, I don't think any of us want it to continue to be, to ever go into that direction, right? So
yeah,
we got to keep that, we got to keep that upward trajectory going. We got to keep the momentum going. We got a lot of cool things going. Also, we're going back to Old 86. We forgot to mention that.
Hell yeah.
For the after party.
Well, we're not done yet. We didn't technically forget. We were getting there. Yeah, that back patio rocks, man. I can't wait. That's a good place.
Yeah, so going back to Old 86, great partnership that we developed with Pants, when they opened and we returned to the temple for Absolution. So very much looking forward to that. I hope, next Friday is, sold out, very memorable. and then we can just keep this, keep like, I just think that there's something about having a venue and doing an event in downtown Cleveland. Like, I just think it feels big. It makes it, it just makes it feel special. It makes it feel important. It's an event, you know what I mean? You go downtown for big events, and unless you're to the new Brown Stadium, which you're going to go to Brook Park for, but
hell yeah, I'm going to be walking.
But it's just I think it's I really think it's important, and it's it sets a whole kind of just vibe and tone when you're in a real venue like that, and in downtown Cleveland, and you're putting on a show like this, and we have to deliver the crowd for these types of venues to continue to invite us, you know what I mean? And I like it, I know that there's some fans that much prefer their indie wrestling in a dingy gym, with fluorescent lights overhead or whatever, but I don't know that I do anymore. I think I like the vibe of the concert venue. I like the ambiance. I like, especially that room, man. The brick, and like it has the glass ceiling with the lights in it.
The lighting, the lighting is sick.
It's just, man, I don't know. It's just, there's just something about it, and I just really hope that we can fucking pull it off. It's, and like, I always get kind of weird, in Absolution time, especially since Chandler passed away. Just, you always get to thinking about all that stuff, especially when you're walking down memory lane, like we just did on this podcast, and you just, and with the 20th year and all that shit, like, there's been a lot of that, going on over the last few months, so it's just like, you really just get this other sense of just needing to just succeed, I guess. Does that make sense? I don't know, like, how else to explain it. It's just like, I don't want to say it's like a burden, but like it feels like an extra just like weight of like, I gotta fucking do this, and like, I truly do believe like pressure is a privilege, and like, like, you feel pressure when there's something to fucking, worth making survive. And I certainly feel fucking pressure to make this survive, and I feel an immense amount of pressure to make this show a success next Friday.
Well, I certainly think the card is there to do so. We only have general admission tickets remain, so like I said, do yourself a favor, save $5. We talked about it. You could even go to the box office Wednesday or Thursday early, save those fees. That kind of stuff's out of our hands, when we do these concert venues like this. We love the concert venue. We like the vibe.
It's $29, I think, all in, though, online. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. See, I mean, that's not bad. So, it's plenty of parking down there. It's full bar, plenty of bar access. I had heard nothing but great things about the staff and everything there. The restrooms, the drinks and stuff like that. I think did they have food? I think they had some
They had some food. I think they got some pizza or something. You know what I mean? Like, but there's so many restaurants, and like, it's downtown. You know what I mean? Like, get down there early. If you can get out of work, like, make a fucking day of it. You know what I mean? Like, downtown, in the flats, like, on the water. There's so much shit around there. Go down to the Flatiron.
Go see Steve.
Beforehand. There's so much shit around there. There's a ton of things to do. You know what I mean? You can get down there about 5 o'clock. You can eat beforehand. Pre-game at all those bars down there. I mean, you can really make Friday a fucking day if you want to. And then, party at Absolution. I mean, we got 9 matches. It's going to be a fucking, it's going to be a fucking marathon of fucking good shit, and then we're going right to Old 86. It's like Old 86 is like a 4-minute drive or Uber ride to the, from the venue to Old 86. That's fucking pretty sick.
Yeah, it's pretty convenient, that's for sure. But it's going to be a good time. I mean, you got, I don't know how many people, if some people had missed the girls last time too. We're going to have both the former NXT Elena Black and Priscilla Kelly back. I don't think there's any, scheduled meet and greet. I know that's not, last time you didn't do, it wasn't through us. They did it themselves, but I know PK had a giant line last time.
Yeah, they're going to go out there, but, we failed to, the one thing we have failed to mention.
I was going to get to that.
is the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase is going to also be there doing a meet and greet starting at 6:30.
Yeah. So that's going to be huge.
Right. Like, he is definitely going to be out there at 6:30. So in Akron, for people that were there in Akron, the girls came out at intermission, and Priscilla Kelly came out after. I got a feeling, but there was travel issues. There's the commute to Akron. It's going to be a lot different in Cleveland because they're flying into Cleveland. They're getting to the venue much earlier. So I have a much different feeling on how it's going to go this time as opposed to, they landed later.
I blame Joey Janela. That's point blank. Let's blame the bad boy. He beat the hell out of Elena Black the night before.
but they also, you know what I mean? They also had an hour ride. It set them. I don't think that they realized all of that.
Yeah.
I think they thought flying to Cleveland, it was all going to be like a boom, boom, boom thing, and it wasn't. So I anticipate that they're going to be out there, it's at 6:30 as well, and at intermission. But Ted DiBiase is for sure going to be out there at 6:30, starting his meet and greet, and he's going to go, up until he meets everybody. If there's still a line, if there's still we're not going to cut his line off. We'll start the show, if people are still in line for him. So, there's really no worries on that at all. You know what I mean? Just get in line for Ted as soon as you get there, and then, I think he's going to be. I talked to his agent. I think he is 30-30-50.
Okay.
For everything. So, pretty reasonably priced for a combo. So yeah, I mean, come on out, meet the $1 Million Man, meet Elena Black, meet Priscilla Kelly, meet everybody else. I'm sure, everybody else is going to be slinging their merch.
He brings that $1 Million belt with him, don't he? Right? I mean, last time he did, I would think he brings that with him all the time. I mean, that's a great photo op.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, he brought it with him last time, so I would imagine, you'll be able to. And it was the fucking real one too when he came last time. So I would imagine that he's bringing it again. So
you know what else? You know what else he had that was sick as hell last time that I just just respected it. I was like, that's fucking sweet. He had a sick ass WWE. I think it was a WWF polo, nice ass collared polo shirt. I was like, damn, that's a sick, I like that shirt. You know what I mean? Still repping the brand, but classy.
you know how else travels in that?
Who's that?
Guess.
It travels in the WWF polo.
Give me one guess.
Fuck, I'm trying to think. There's so many names I think it could be. I don't know.
I just remember it distinctly. That's why I said it so quickly.
Arn?
Well, maybe he does, but that's not the one I'm thinking of.
Okay,
I mean that's you could quite possibly that. Okay, so
I want to see. He had one when we brought him to the fair that time, or whatever.
Maybe this is a trick question. He was probably wearing an AEW one, but at that time, maybe this is a trick question. But distinctively, I recall that the Boogeyman was traveling with a WWE official polo shirt on.
I do remember you saying that now. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Boogie rocks. We got to bring that guy back. Hell yeah, dude. I see mentioned here real quick, too, speaking of Priscilla Kelly, our buddy, old pal Scott Random, mentions that apparently in her vlog, she does a vlog, she features some stuff from her time here in AIW in Cleveland. Looks like some stuff from the show or whatever, maybe so. if you interact with her, maybe check that out. Maybe you're in there. Who knows? But anything else you want to get to before we get out of here? We've been going for a minute here.
It's gonna be a long one. Yeah, no, like, let's sell it out. Let's fucking, come fucking meet Ted DiBiase. He hasn't been here. We never brought him to Cleveland. We brought him to Akron. So
yeah,
and that was also, that's pre-COVID. Might as well be, in it from a different decade at this point.
Right. It feels like so long ago.
Right. You know what I mean? So come on down, meet the $1 Million Man this Friday. Let's fucking party. We got to sell it out. Bring a friend. Spread the word. Call an all cars situation. We need everybody down there this Friday night. No excuses. Let's pack it again. Let's pack the Globe Iron. Let's fucking show them, we're the real fucking deal. It wasn't a fluke that we sold it out for our 20-year anniversary. We're fucking, we are going to do it every single fucking time we go into that fucking place. That's my goal. You know what I mean? Like, my goal is to fucking sell that place out every time we go in there. It's not like we're in there every fucking month. You know what I mean? So there's no excuses. We gotta do it. We gotta fill that fucking place. I don't care what anybody says. There's other shows, there's other this, there's other that in the area. This show's better than every fucking show in the area, and you can quote me on that. I don't have any fucking quips about putting this show up against anything else. I don't think anybody else would even argue that this show does not fucking blow anything else around here out of the water. It's a fact. It's not a fucking opinion. Come support it. We are doing things nobody else is doing around here. Support it. Support the people that are fucking reinvesting the money into the fucking products. Please.
Hell yeah, dude. If that don't get you to go buy a fucking ticket, man, I don't know what the hell your problem is, but hell yeah, dude. AXS.com. Let's go. Get those tickets. Let's sell it out. Let's show them. I mean, this is a big show. We only do big shows at the Globe Iron. We need everybody there for the big shows. Come on. This ain't just some fly-by-night card, like John said. This is the real fucking deal. Let's go. I want to see everybody out there Friday, July 18th at the Globe Iron, downtown in the Flats. East Bank of the Flats, right? I can never remember this. East Bank or the West Bank?
West Bank.
West Bank. I can never fucking remember. It's always the one I say, not the wrong.
East Bank was the newly developed one. Now they're moving on to the West Bank.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that should do it, huh? Anything else before we get out of here?
Nope. Let's fucking sell it out.
Hell yeah. All right. Get those tickets. We'll see everybody at Absolution. For myself, for John Thorne, for everybody at AW, we'll see you at Absolution. Later.